All right, so the artist here today with us is Tirazheh Eslami, who is coming to us live from Lewiston, Idaho. I will now turn it over to her to introduce herself and talk a little more about her work.
Great, thank you, Rebecca. Good afternoon. Hi, everybody, and welcome to my lecture and your windy Friday afternoon. My name is Tirazheh Eslami. I am the exhibit coordinator at the Center for Art and History, and I'm also an instructor at the Humanities Division at Lewis Clark State College. I am from Iran, and I moved to United States in 2006. Before I start talking today, I just want to ask you a few questions. You can unmute yourself and answer this question if you're willing to. I just want to know that, does any of you know where Iran is?
I do, but that's cheating.
Not you, Rebecca. Do you have any idea where Iran?
If I could look at a map, I probably could find it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me share with you a short video to think what people think Iran is. I am just gonna, if these things let me, I am just gonna, okay. Can everybody see this video? Is it, can you?
You might have to unshare and then reshare.
Okay, stop sharing. It used to work. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work this time or not. Okay, how about now?
Is on this map. Oh hell no!
Can you see this video?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So I'm just curious if you can put an X on Iran.
Oh, over this. Is that one?
It is not that one. It's actually right over there.
I've tried to kind of follow along with it, but I'm not trying to follow with it. I'm interested, but like, I don't know.
Not worried then?
A little worried. They were in New York first though, so that sucks.
And that is a map. Do you recognize it?
Recognize this.
All right, final answer. That's pretty close. That's actually Afghanistan.
Okay.
Right over here is Iran.
I have no idea.
Pretty close. So this right there is Iran.
Oh, okay, so no idea.
Is it even on this map? I don't believe Iran is on here. That's a pretty good guess. Yeah. You're for a war with Iran, or if it came down to it, yeah, prior military.
I don't have a clue. I'll say right here.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Somewhere over here in what is that? East Africa.
We're gonna go to war?
They already got the sash on the flags already. I think we already in that state. It's going to be bad when Russia and all of the other places ally with us.
You gonna list?
No.
That's Saudi Arabia. Iran's right there, actually.
Oh, okay. This crisis going on.
Yeah, we might go to war.
Huh?
We might go to war.
Oh, what? There's a war?
We might go to war.
Oh, my. Hope we're not to.
Hey. Sharing. Okay. It seems not many people know where Iran is, and definitely Iran is not in South Africa. Okay, I have a few other questions for you. The next one is, what do you know about Iranian people? What do you know about our lifestyle? What do you know about Iranian culture? What do you think? Any idea? Okay, think is Iran is a very poor, small country in middle of nowhere. But believe it or not, Iran is one of the richest country in the world and in the region. Our wealth is not limited to oil and gas. We have several other minerals resources. Also, Iran is one of the largest producer of saffron, pistachio, caviar, and of course, we all know about Persian rugs. If you live in Tehran, which is the capital, if you feel like you want to ski, you like snow, you need to drive 1 hour north and you can ski. If you think you feel like warm weather, sunshine, you fly 2 hours south, and here you go. We have a beautiful beach that you can enjoy the sunshine and get tan. I'm going to share with you a few questions that people here in area that I lived before ask me, my friends, and my family. They ask us if we ride camel in our country. They ask me if I go to lake to do my dishes. They ask my husband if we have car in our country. If you think these questions are kind of, I don't know, strange, funny, just wait to hear the last question they asked me. One of my friends asked me not so long ago that if we use sword when we go to war with other country. I used to be very mad when people ask me these questions. To be honest, I cried a few times. But now I don't get mad. I don't know, maybe deep inside, I kind of get sad. If people ask me this question 20, 25 years ago, it was a different story. But now we live in 21st century. Thanks to technology, if not all of us, most of us have access to internet. It won't take a lot of time to research about different culture and different countries before we make any comment. Okay. My last question is for you guys. What do you think about women in Iran? Whoa. Do you have any thought like how we live in Iran as a woman? Before I moved here, I was in Pocatello, and so many people told me in Pocatello that I have to be very thankful to live in United States, just because I don't have to cover my face, because I can drive, I can go shopping without my husband or my father next to me. People usually get us wrong with our neighbors. I'm not from Saudi Arabia. I'm from Iran. I don't need to cover my face. I don't need to go shopping with my husband or my brother or my father next to me. I can drive. I can do whatever that you can do here in the United States. There's no differences between us. I am gonna show you this video that is great to watch.
What if I told you that I was the only firefighter in my hometown?
What if I told you I was the first to compete for my country in the Winter Olympics?
What if I told you I was the lead singer of an acclaimed rock and roll band and a computational geneticist who's been deemed one of the top 100 geniuses of our time?
What if I told you my photographs have been published in National Geographic, the New York Times, Newsweek, and Time magazine?
What if I told you that I won my nation's first ever motocross?
What if I told you I won a gold medal in the Paralympic Games?
What if I told you I was the first from my country to scale an 8,000-meter peak in the Himalayas?
What if I told you I became the first suffrage martyr in my country after appearing unveiled in public? They strangled me with a silk scarf, threw me into a garden well, and filled it with stones and soil.
If I told you that, would you believe that I'm a woman from Iran?
If I told you that, would you believe I was a woman from Iran?
If I told you that, would you believe that I'm a woman from Iran?
I am a woman from Iran.
I'm a woman from Iran. I'm a woman from Iran.
I am a woman from Iran.
I'm a woman from Iran. I'm often quoted as having said, "You can kill me as soon as you like, but you cannot stop the emancipation of women."
Okay. Amazing video, right? Okay, and let's briefly talk about the history of Persia. The Persian Empire was very large, and you can see in this map, in north, we have a Caspian Sea. In south part, we had Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea. In east side, we shared a border with India, and our country expanded all the way through Mediterranean Sea from the west side. According to Ancient Encyclopedia by Joshua J. Mark, published on September 17, 2020, not so long ago, ancient Persian culture exerted a powerful influence throughout the Near East and beyond for over 1,000 years between 550 BC and 651 CE. And many aspects of their culture continue to influence others afterwards and up through the present day. For the earliest day at the Achaemenid Empire till the last day of Sasanians, the Persian introduced a number of novel concepts in innovation and invention, which are often taken for granted today. Motif, refrigerator, air conditioning, custom of daily tea times, and many other established aspects of daily modern life originated by the ancient Persian. Talking about women's rights, Persian women had more rights and privilege than any other ancient culture except Egypt. Three of widely read poets in the world are Rumi, Hafiz, and Sadi. We can see poems from Sadi inside the main conference room at the United Nations. Iranian poet Sadi from 13th century is one of the major influential Persian poets of the medieval period. He is recognized in the world for the quality of his writing. This is the English version of the poem, and this is the Persian translated. If any of you interested, I can read it in Persian. If not, we can move on.
Yes, please.
Okay, sure. The Persian translated says, بنی آدم اعضای یکدیگرند که در گوهرینش ز یک آورند. چو عضوی به درد آورد روزگار، دگر عضوها را نماند قرار. تو که از محنت دیگران بیغمی، نشاند که نامد نهند آدمی. Okay. Oh. Enough about history. Let's talk about my art. When I got accepted in University of Idaho in graduate program, I knew what I wanted it to talk about. I knew that I want to talk about my culture. I knew that I want to introduce my culture to Western society. I started with Persepolis series just because I thought many people are familiar with that period of the time. If they know history, they should know about Persepolis. Persepolis or Takht Jamshid was one of the ceremonial capital in Achaemenid Empire about 500 BC. This piece is painting on wood panel, 88 by 33, very large. I have two other example of these body of work, 24 by 36, combination of painting and print technique. While I was working in these body of work in like this Persepolis series, I also was looking for a easier way, different way to introduce my culture. Also looking for theory to backing up my painting. I found a great article from Homi Bhabha that he was talking about hybrid identity. I don't know if you are familiar with the term or not, but hybrid identity talking about when we are mixing or merging or overlapping two different things. We create a new form of intensity that Homi Bhabha called it third space. These two different things could be two different gender, could be two different races. I thought that would be a great theory for me because I can use it and mix two different culture, my Eastern culture and my Western culture together. Okay, I found my theory, that was great, but I was still looking for a way to kind of help me to show my culture to the Western people, like an easy way. For Persepolis, people had to have some sort of like a knowledge in history. But what if people didn't have any knowledge about history, didn't know anything about Iran? I searched and found like 10 most famous painting in the world. I started with Mona Lisa. You don't need to be artist to know about Mona Lisa, right? Everybody know about Mona Lisa. I decided to work with this well-known painting to start. My idea was to keep the contents the same thing. If I am picking up or choosing a subject from Eastern, like let's just say if my subject is portrait from Eastern, choose exactly the same thing from the Western, from the Eastern culture, kind of like a mimic the same thing. If I'm choosing a landscape from the Western culture, I chose exactly the same thing, landscape from Eastern culture, to put these two together, make it easy for everybody to understand. I challenge my viewer, I challenge my audience by showing them unfamiliar picture next to famous Mona Lisa. Like, what do you think? You guys are familiar with Mona Lisa, and we are in East are familiar with this lady. We call it Qajar lady. If you show this image, the hairstyle, the eyebrows, the dress she's wearing, it just like everybody in Iran can recognize this, like this style of dress, hair. I thought if I put these two next to each other, it kind of, next time you're looking at the Mona Lisa, you remember you saw something unusual next to Mona Lisa. Kind of help you think about different cultures, something that you usually don't see everywhere. Another example is this piece here that I chose this Sunday afternoon at the island of La Grande. It shows how people enjoying their weekend. It's exactly the same thing. I showed how people enjoying their weekend in Iran. The only difference is the weekend in Iran is Friday. It's not Saturday or Sunday. I call it Friday afternoon, like people enjoying their time. Another thing that I'm talking about in my painting is, if you look at these corner of my painting, there are a few bottles of alcohol. If you're familiar with Islam religion, you cannot drink alcohol. If you drink alcohol, you go to hell. I placed it next to pomegranate. It's something that we believe it's one of the three fruits that the God sent it from heaven to us. Talking about good thing and bad thing, hell and heaven in my painting. I have a 12 years old daughter. Her name is Raya. And we talk about Persian culture all the time. She knows all, she was born here and she grown up here, but she speak Farsi really good. And we always talk about the stuff. I like to educate, I enjoy educating her about different cultures. And I thought that might be a good opportunity for me to start working on new collection or new body of work, but engaging younger generation, like small kids. I chose to work with Disney princesses because everybody likes Disney princesses, and kids know everything about these princesses. As you can tell, I kept the significant element of Rapunzel, of course, her hair and her dress. I kept it, but I just changed the face. Same thing here. I kept the background and dress, just changed the faces. Why not kids learn that princesses, princesses could be everywhere? Every culture, I'm sure they have their own princesses, but like in different dress or different hairstyle or different way. And that's another example of this collection. I don't know if you noticed or not, there are a few elements that I use a lot in my painting. As I mentioned, and you might know, Iran has a very large history. We have so many symbols, so many elements, so many things that we're proud of. But I decided just to talk about a few of those things in my painting. Those things that they have like a very significant meaning to me. The first thing it's pomegranate. I used a lot of pomegranate in my painting because it has a significant meaning. It representing my family. I'm coming from the family of 6. One of my younger sister lives in Germany, and we are all over the world. But the way our parents raise us, we know if we need each other, we're gonna be so supportive. We're gonna be there. We're gonna know if my sister called me and she needs my help, or I need to be there, she knows that I'm gonna be there in no time. We are like a pomegranate seed. We always together. That's the reason I'm using pomegranate in many of my painting. The second element that I'm talking a lot in my painting, it's goldfish and grass. If you look at these display, it's our New Year display. Like you guys have a Christmas tree. When it's time you decorate your Christmas tree. When it's our New Year, which is March 21st, the first day of spring, we celebrate Iranian New Year's, or we call it Nowruz. We have these display. We have 7 elements in our display that they all start with S. I'm going to show you like the usage of these goldfish again, pomegranate, and grass in my work. This is our New Year's display. 7 things that start with S. Might be funny for you guys because apple doesn't start with S, right? But in my culture, apple starts with S. We pronounce it seed. Seed or apple, it's the symbol of health. We are wishing our family, our neighbors, our friends a very healthy year. Grass is the symbol of growing. Goldfish, it's the symbol of giving birth. We have, I don't know if you can see or not, we have some coin down in here. It's the symbol of the wealthiness. We are wishing a wealthy year for our family. This third element that I am using a lot in my painting, it's Persian calligraphy. There's let me tell you a story behind this painting and how I started using a Farsi alphabet in my painting. I moved to United States in 2006, and I used to send email to my family a lot, text, email, but we have a different way to communicate. Iranian people are kind of creative language or font or alphabet that we are using English alphabet, but in Persian, when use it, but we can pronounce it in Farsi. Okay. Oh, sorry, I have to go back here. Then if you look at it, you can recognize the English alphabet, but you cannot read it. It's different. But we use it for so long, it's not even new generation. My mom used it all the time. And it became a habit for us because we don't have a Farsi keyboard on our phone or our computers. That's why we create this kind of language or font or whatever you want to call it. I used that system for so many long. When I was painting this painting, I remember it was 2015. I was sitting in my studio and I felt like I really miss my mom. And I decided just to write, like whatever I'm thinking, let me just write it down. The first time after so long that I used Persian alphabet, and it felt so good, so good. I felt like I'm home. And after that, it kind of became a habit for me to use Persian calligraphy in my painting. It's in this corner here. Okay, as an artist, you know, we all want to try different medium to see, to explore things. I decided I work enough, I spend enough time on mixed media. Let me just change my medium. Let me just change and try to try something new, try something different. I started working on digital work. The concept of the work you can see is still the same thing. Nothing changed. I'm still talking about the Western art. You can see the eagle is representing United States and me wearing hijab representing my culture. Same thing with this painting here. It's me and Golden Gate. Again, kind of like a symbol of the one significant element in the United States. This bridge also has different meaning for me besides one of the Western element. It kind of, in this painting, I talk about life and death. I got sick when I lived in San Francisco for 5 years and I got sick. I thought it's nothing. I'm gonna go to the hospital. Probably I'm gonna take just one IV and everything gonna be okay. But apparently I was wrong. It was way worse than I was thinking. And they told me that I went to the hospital so late and I can't survive. I'm not gonna see the next morning. Here you go. A few years later, I'm here. I'm still alive. But this bridge also has like a different meaning besides just the element of the Western culture to me. I use my body part, my portrait, to talk about my Eastern culture. And recently, I am experimenting newer body of work. On this one here, you don't see me or me. I'm not involved, like my body part or my face is not involved of this digital work, but still you can see the pomegranate, which is the symbol of the Eastern culture, the Persian calligraphy, motif, everything. You might ask me, okay, we can see everything from Eastern culture, but we don't see anything from Western. But my answer is the technology that I'm using, it's coming from Western. I didn't know anything about digital art. I didn't know about printing on canvas. That these stuff are things that I learned from this culture. Then I still can't claim that I'm using hybrid identity as a backing of my theory of my painting. This is the newest body of work that I'm working on. I don't know how soon I'm gonna change to something else, and I don't know what's gonna be next for me, but hopefully something good. Thank you.